A preview of matchday 29, Bundesliga, German Bundesliga football, Bundesliga season 2018-2019 on the 12th of April. Tonight the kickoff of Nuremberg against Schalke. So the game is not played yet. And who do I say that? Okay. What I prepared here was, of course, well, we are all used to that, and I didn't prepare well enough. Yeah, what did we get used to? That I'm entering market prices, then I compare these prices to the computer prices and set up the perfect betting game. As I'm short on time today, well, I'm trying to keep this one short as well. Most importantly, we have to make sure my prices have been compiled. They are compiled as usual on the chances home win, draw, away win, those three chances, and they have to add up to 100%. Anyone taking part in this game, in this perfect betting game, he needs to do the same and distribute the 100% on these three chances. If he's done though, he had to make use of this small little algorithm that I'm showing you maybe in a second, but I've shown you a couple of times already. What I do next to that, those are the true prices my computer compiled to my best knowledge and understanding. I can't come a lot closer, although I know with the new system I introduced, and I've showed you maybe already, that there still is a range in which I would say, well, it could be this, it could be that. I mean, if I say here 33.28%, then I might well accept it could also be 35, maybe even 36, I don't know, or also 30. But it's the closest and best I can get. And in the end, I have to make a decision. I mean, I get those 100% distributed. To make this chance bigger, I had to lower the other two. Anyway, this is true prices computer. Then I enter the next step. I enter market's best prices. As we've seen, there's usually not this much of a difference. When you see a difference here, this is because there are developments entered, and I'm not going to type it in once again, because usually it's close enough and it may go back to these values or even lower or up even more. I don't know. Here this is 421, it has been 420, no idea, no point in adjusting that. 1.6, 4.19, 5.76, 5.75, no difference, 1.3, 5.72, and so on. So, and this love went down, as you see here, which is absolutely meaningless. And like this, I enter the prices, I take the reciprocal of those of those market prices entered, and they do not add up to 100%. So I have to make this little extra step to shape these chances to 100%. When you see here and compare it to these values, you see it's not much of a change, and it's done in the relationship and perfect relation, so that it's gonna be 100%. What can I do now? Okay, so we can forget about this for now. What I would like to do, of course, is, as usual, talk about a little bit about the games. So when there are differences, where they might come from, I'm not foreseeing this, and I'm not really taking a look at that, beforehand told, so my prices are not compiled because of this knowledge of this. I may have some, and maybe I showed you last time already that I can compile the prices out of the blue. I mean, I can compile them because my computer just makes his own prices, although the programming has been done by myself. So he's just following my guidelines. He's applying my formulas. So if I say it's his opinion or it's computer's calculation, it's also my own. Okay, I prepare that for next week. As you see here, I can't prove a lot compared to market. I'm losing so far 2,300 euro on basis of the way I do that, although they do not compete with me. I mean, if they had done so, but who would be the person? Maybe someone is calling me from you and you want to take up that competition. You say you take market, I take myself. Okay, anyway, those are the shaped to 100% probabilities here. The reciprocal of this are the true prices. The true prices is the basis for our betting game, or be it the percentages, the distribution here. And the way to calculate that, here we got the true prices, which means this is, if I distribute the 100%, then I would say I'm ready to pay 3.0 on Nuremberg, and not any more and not any less. This is what I would like to pay, and I'm not going to lose money in the end. I pay this much on the draw, I pay this much on the away win. If market says, okay, he doesn't say it, it's more or less the bulk intelligence, but they say we would only pay 3.48 on home win, 3.42 on the draw, which is close enough, but only 2.38 on Schalke win. So those are the prices we pay, and so we simply bet on any of these chances against each other. All we have to work out is how much do we bet against each other. And if we found out how much we bet, then we know also who's winning how much on which chance. And this mathematical formula I'm using here is very simple, because I say there are 100% each. We distribute and we take the total on any of these two chances, so, and multiply it with a basic amount of 1,000 euro. So we take these two chances. The lower he is, the less he says more or less he's going to bet, and the more I say, the more I would like it to be. But anyway, it's going to be, if it's less here, it's more there. Where the difference comes from is by the payout, because I have to pay out clearly less. If Nuremberg win, he has to pay out more because he thinks it's less likely. He, my virtual opponent here. It amounts to 2,000 because we add up our two probabilities and have a basic amount of 1,000, so it's 200% more or less that we distribute and multiply this with 1,000. So the total of these three values will always be 2,000. And the payout is all that matters to us, and the reliability of the formula, which you may have accepted now. And so anyway, I would win. If Nuremberg win, I would still win a little bit if a draw occurs, because I say it's more likely a draw than market. It's just a little bit, while on the home win and away win, that's where we well, we do not agree on. And so I'm gonna win if Nuremberg are gonna win, the market's gonna win if Schalke are gonna win. If I would like to argue about this now, then I would say, I mean, Nuremberg did look better, didn't they? They could have won in Stuttgart even, although Stuttgart was still the better side. But it was a good game by Nuremberg. They could have won. They produced enough chances. They had been playing well. And this would have really made it exciting again. Now you can say, well, it's still too big a margin, but still 6 games to go, so you would still simply try. It is a home game. You play against a weak side that didn't play well all season. It is kind of a last chance maybe now. I mean, the less the games, if it's another draw, they wouldn't say we give up now, but you feel, I mean, you have to win such a game. But the supporters will be there. But there's one more thing. There is a friendship between these two. Maybe, okay, Schalke, of course, are not ready to give something away here. But still, this kind of friendship, I mean, they wouldn't mind so much. I mean, they still have it in their own hands, even if they would lose here. Anyway, I simply say Schalke didn't perform all season, so I'm going to take Nuremberg. If we are forced to bet, this is where we get to. If you bet with a friend and you say, well, I tell you, Nuremberg are not going to lose, or you say they are going to win, okay, we can bet. What price? What do you start with? Yeah, I take Schalke, you take Nuremberg. Maybe in this case it would even close to working out. But in the end, you can't really bet because no one knows the price and any kind of, well, how would you bet? You can't do that. €10, okay, they're gonna win, they're not gonna win. I don't know. It's never gonna be fair. The only thing that would be fair would be to apply this system here. And so someone has to write down his probability, the other one his own. So if he says, I bet you Nuremberg are gonna win, then you say, I also bet they are gonna win. Tell me your price. What is the price you're ready to pay? Well, rather tell me your probability. If he says, well, I think it's 40%, you say, well, so you really bet it because I say it's just 30%. So then you got your bet, more or less. But you have to distribute the other chances, which is done already if you say win against non-win. But you can also distribute it on X and 2. Anyway, this is the way this game could be played anywhere in the world. If people knew what they were doing, or if they would eventually start to apply my system, which works perfectly well. Anyway, I'm ready to take Nuremberg over the market against my virtual opponent. And if I'm going to lose again, it's going to work out here. Schalke are no good, and I said that last season already when they were very much praising them, and they didn't perform. Now they say we knew that. Anyway, time's ticking on. In Stuttgart, I'm against the draw, the common thing again. Get used to that. What can I say? I mean, I have to take Stuttgart over Leverkusen, which is not really what I would fancy to do. Leverkusen lost 3 in a row now, and I predicted when Peter Bosch came here that he's going to face the same problems that he had in Dortmund already. As long as they are winning, no problem. But if they start losing, they start to argue about something. And what they would argue about is usually it's just rubbish, nonsense, because they just take the result. And they played well 3 times in a row, but they lost the games. And somehow they are already then, in some sense, forcing him to change something, although the performances were fine. And this is, and then it starts to get a small problem. I'm not going to argue pro Stuttgart because I do not think they performed well, and I can't argue pro Leverkusen so much or not against them as well. I can only argue against the draw. Mark is not perfect on the draw. And there is one more reason in this game. There the computer really says there are some more goals, and as soon as there are more goals, the probability for a draw lowers. But market is not sensible for that, but it is largely because he doesn't need to care, because people are not going to bet on or against the draw. It's just meaningless. In Hannover Gladbach, I have to take a little bit Hannover. I said already I do not like it, and maybe I should have adjusted the price then, because I accepted there's also plenty of injuries. In this case, I would say if you have a club losing game after game, and they didn't play well also when they won that 2-0 over Nuremberg, they just profited from Nuremberg losing a player somewhere and beat them 2-0. One of the first games from Thomas Doll in charge. But if you lose game after game, then you also sense it's my own career that's going downhill, because no one will talk about me unless maybe, well, he went to Germany and he went down with his club, so he's no good. And so, in some sense, as I would say, in a big company, when it's going downhill, and also the employees might start to have their diseases. Maybe rightly so, because they don't know where they are going, or what they are doing, or what they should do, and are not happy in their lives, and then you get those diseases. But in Hannover, they got plenty of injuries, and I think sometimes maybe they don't even want to play. So he says, well, my thigh hurts, so I can't move. So what is it? Well, it's a pulled muscle, strained muscle, whatever. And then you can't play. It's not, I can't blame them, and I can't prove I'm right, but it's just what's happening here. Many injuries, so I don't want to have them. But it's not a big margin. So, and it's also kind of, well, it's also that Thomas Doll, when you listen to him, it sounds like, okay, maybe Kind says you're going to stay and you're our coach, which is fine. But he also feels he can't do much about it, and that you can hear that somehow. But I'm not saying, I mean, anything can happen still. And also in Gladbach now they said Hacking is going to leave at the end of the season, and then well, he's trying his best, and they are not on a good run. So you could also argue the other way around. And Hannover played well their last home game when they lost 0-1 to Schalke. Was a terrible result for that game. This was Stevens' maybe first game, but it was just a terrible game by Schalke. They still won it. In Leipzig-Wolfsburg, I'm happy with the market. I mean, I can't say a lot, although in reality, I'm gonna take Leipzig. Okay, Wolfsburg just overperformed. Same thing there with Labadia and so on. That he doesn't stay over the. So what is he really doing? Of course, they all perform for their own career. So he's trying to win games and bring Wolfsburg into Europe, and then he's leaving. He leaves, but it's such good news anyway. I would think. But Leipzig just played well, so why would you doubt they can win this game? Wolfsburg just got two good results for their performances, but it's so small a difference that it's not even worth mentioning. In Dortmund, Mainz, I'm going to take Dortmund. Okay, I was arguing already. Mainz won 5-0 last week. Okay, but they weren't the better side, and it was quite a while that they didn't play so well as they maybe. I have all those graphs, so I'm not just talking out of the blue and into the blue or into the dark or something like that. I could show you, but I'm not gonna do this in this video. But their performances are still okay. But I would say they overrate this 0-5 because the one side won 5-0, the other lost 0-5. So market overrates this, and it's Dortmund did perform a lot better before this Bayern game, but I simply do not count this. I count all the others. And Mainz are also, when I listened to Sandro Schwarz, the coach, then I thought, well, he goes into the game in a relaxed, and so will his players do, because 5-0 win, you're happy, and you say, well, this was more or less, I mean, we are safe now, and so on. And Dortmund will definitely be sharp. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they still fancy their chance, but second place also fine. But they will definitely perform and also wipe out as well as they can that 0-5 defeat. So I'm happily gonna take that. In Hoffenheim Hertha, I argued already, it's the same thing as in Hanover, Gladbach. They lose a game after game, and all of a sudden, all the players are injured. But it's also this Duda, who's yellow card ban, and so on. So a couple of players missing. It's simple as that. But I would happily take Hertha. But here it's now, maybe I should adjust this. But it's not a lot I can lose, but it's quite a lot I can win. And so I would still say, well, why should I be so wrong? It's the same situation here. Also, Nagelsmann, coach there, announced he's going to leave. He said that pre-season already, or very early on, at least. So I mean, they will all try, and all the players do, and everyone does. But sometimes it's not really good for the team if single players know they are going to leave, coaches know they are going to leave. But I shouldn't argue too much about it. It's not this much of a difference. All those missing players in Hertha, it's Ibisevic still out with a red card. It was a silly one. He threw the ball at the goalkeeper. But just because he knows this goalkeeper won't restart the game, and we are in injury time, and they are winning 3-2. Okay, he won't restart. It's his kit maybe not. He's rearranging or whatever he does until he kicks the ball. So he gets angry and throws the ball at him. I'm getting a phone call, which I'm not going to take. Okay, anyway, it's some players out and some of them important. And so I'm not so happy about being here. In this one, you can see, I mean, this is a very common scenario, more or less. I would say the same thing actually as in Dortmund Mainz, but I can't do much. And here I lose even less, clearly less, and can win massively on these two chances. And Düsseldorf played well all season. And it's a bonus game. They will definitely go into it, and there will be crowded, capacity crowd, and it will be, well, everything going for them. But they won't be, they won't play this aggressively. They will just play their kind of football, and if they concede a goal, they wouldn't mind so much. I mean, you wouldn't take the players down or foul badly or tackle badly, also. And so, because they are safe. I mean, there's no way all those teams are gonna win these many points to catch Düsseldorf. It needed to be Stuttgart, and they have to lose all their games. But Stuttgart have trouble to win a single one. Anyway, it's a bonus game. They will try their best. They won a point in Munich 3-3 with Luke Bacchio scoring all the goals, or a couple of goals. And so he was, and I spotted his qualities, which are maybe undoubted or had been before. But in the game against Gladbach, when I saw that, how good he is. And then it was not far away from that he performed so well in Munich. But all of that doesn't count that much. It's Bayern gonna win, and I mean, I'm not saying we're talking about 78% or 76, right? That's all it is, or 79 compared to 76. And so how much would you argue about that? And here we get Frankfurt against Augsburg, and okay, I'm against the draw. Maybe in this match day it's not that obvious that I'm somehow going against the draws. With the two last time, that was exactly on the average of 22.22, and average is 22.45, 49, 91, I don't know. But something was 22, I think. Anyway, and here I'm against the draw again. I'm saying, I mean, this is just rubbish. What are they doing? I mean, they sacked their team as well. This is Augsburg now. This is in second Bundesliga, St. Pauli. They all sack their coaches up and down, and they say, yeah, well, we wanted to try something different, and maybe, well, recently we didn't win the many points we wanted to, and so but why wouldn't you, I mean, just sign a coach and say, okay, are you ready to coach us? So we're going to give you 2,500. What do you think for today? And if it's a loss, you say, okay, next week we take another one. I mean, why are they making any kind of contracts? And oh, we are so happy that we signed you. And 3 months later, this is because Jens Lehmann was the coach. What do you say? How do you call that in English? I don't know. But he's sacked again as well with Manuel Baum. It's just rubbish what they are doing. I don't know. I mean, what are they trying for? So I don't want to have Augsburg at all. Frankfurt lost at Benfica last night 4-2, which is not the perfect result. Maybe they were dreaming of, but they still fancy their chance. So they are looking forward to Thursday and maybe not that sharp. But I can't argue here. I'm not going to do that. It's just small margins, and we're not really in a fight here. We will see what happens. Maybe there are some of them when I would say, okay, I'm happily gonna take Nuremberg over this. I'm happily gonna take Dortmund, and which is a different story for me to this one in certain sense, and in several senses maybe. Although it's a very similar game. Anyway, I'm okay. I'll leave you this. Thank you for your attention. Leave your likes. First of all, leave your comments. Share them, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot if you do so, and for all of you who've done so. And I hope I could get you some interesting stuff here to present.